Alright, you guys, brought her out of the Cape. I'm hoping we can see this thing like this soon. The goal in this video, you guys, is to make some major progress. So, welcome back to the channel, Anderson. Welcome to Project CLK55K. Let me fill you guys in what we got planned for this video in the project series. Alright, super sunny out, so camera might be a little blown out right now, but the last video you guys saw, we got the valve covers on, we fixed our pulley little situation, got the new bolt on there so it doesn't have the belt kit bracket on there anymore. Still gonna take care of that. I need to get the valance back on, or a cowl rather, sorry. So this video I got planned: catch can, battery tray, and then pull out the fuel system in the car, obviously underneath the back seat. The car has been sitting under the cover for a long time now, so I wanted to just bring it out to breathe. It is super dusty and nasty inside because it wasn't washed when I put the cover on. I just kind of put it on to keep it a little cleaner than it would have been, have it just sitting here. Spiders have been trying to make their home, so I'm definitely going to try to pressure wash this thing once we get it to a point where we're getting close to start. But yeah, there she sits. It is a beautiful car. I have to say it's probably the best looking car out of the fleet right now, so just kind of soaking it in right now. We are going to start with, as of the moment, I need to order some more line because I don't have enough 3/8 silicone line to do the catch can right now, so I'll leave that as is for the time being. Tomorrow I'm going to check on getting some stainless steel bolts. I have the regular ones for now, so obviously I can use them, no problem. I'm talking for the valve covers, but I thought that might be cool to do. And yeah, I think I would like to get started on the battery tray, so let's go take a look. Alright, you guys, change of plans. I did most of the wiring instead of working on the battery right now. It's a heck of a lot cleaner. It looks a little crazy right now because everything's not plugged in, but once I get it all sorted, ECU's back in, I'm going to drop it in right now, put all the plugs back on. You know, it's getting there. Looks a heck of a lot better than it did before. Alright guys, well I think our ECU is ready to go in now. I was just cleaning up. One of the plugs had a bit of corrosion on it. Still got a tiny bit. Anyone's got a good recommendation on something to get in there and clean the little prongs with? I used some WD-40 contact cleaner and just a tiny screwdriver trying to scrape stuff off. Didn't get all of it, but it wasn't causing any issues before. But yeah, of course you'd like to get all that off of there, but I want to go ahead and test fit in here and see just how all the plugs line up, if I can close the box obviously and all that, and then we'll keep going. I want to put the cowl back on too. Alright you guys, a bit of a squeeze, but we got everything back tight. Let me take the top off now that I know it fits and show you guys the final product here. Alright you guys, whole lot of braided nylon sheathing later. We're good. I'm going to start putting the cowl back on. The only thing that's behind the firewall is that one plug right here. That's going back to another sheath line that is sitting and routes to the relay that Alex had wired up for the intercooler pump. Josh did let me know that the brown wire that was left unplugged was for the IC pump, so if for whatever reason we have issues, then I left that wire still tapped, just taped obviously, so I can go back in and route that if I need to. But for now we should be ready to put the cowl back on. Alright you guys, a little mini project, just degreased this thing, scrubbed it, and let it dry. I'm going to use my ceramic coating on here. We're going to do like half and half. I'm going to see how rejuvenated we can get this little cowl. Alright guys, next morning, and just ceramic coated half of this thing. Wanted to show you guys. Ceramic half. Just did one pass on it. And here's the other side. So, yeah, ceramic coating seems like it's one of the best plastic restorers out there. Obviously it's not going to get rid of all the like little imperfections and stuff, but it really brings back the color, so it's super cool. So I will probably do another coat and do the whole thing and Probably 2 coats fully will be super good. Alright guys, whole thing done now. Go ahead and let it sit out here, and we'll come back and check on it later and just verify what we've done. But I'd say for some random ceramic coating I had laying around, looks way better than before, way more even. Alright you guys, long day of painting and working on the M114 valve cover later. Putting the valance or cowl back on. You guys can see what it looks like. Sat out in the sun all day after I had the ceramic coating, and still looks good. Now something you guys will have to remind me, I don't think this was cracked before, guys, and I don't know for sure, but that's gonna be sad if that was me that somehow did that. I have no idea how that happened, or if I did it, how it happened. And I don't remember it being there when I bought the car. I cannot remember, to be honest. I'm gonna have to ask Alex if that was already there. But I don't think it was. And I can tell there's like a little chip at the bottom, right where this piece goes that connects. So that's a bummer. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, I'm putting the stuff back on. I was just washing the other windshield wiper parts so that I can ceramic coat those as well so they match, and then I'll throw everything back on. Alright you guys, well, update on project CLK. We had a very unfortunate bummer yesterday happen. You guys can see this crack. So sad, man. I have no idea what I did, guys. I mean, obviously something happened. The only thing I can think of is like when I was replacing the cowl, maybe there was already a chip there or something that when I pressed down to, you know, reseal this thing, it just shot up. But I didn't see it take place in the moment. It was like I was already, you know, off doing other stuff, and then I noticed it. Sucks, man. So I'll have to live with that for now. I don't know if cracks like that are repairable or not. I've had good luck with repairing like chips and stuff, but I don't even know if you can fill in cracks like that or not. It'd be cool if you could. I would try it, but so annoying. You can see it down here, just freaking cracked all the way up. So that's where I'm at with that. The other weird thing is this won't seal properly on this thing. It's kind of like sitting up on both sides, so I need to figure out why that is. The cowl looks good, but yeah, I'll have to figure that out. Just change out these little bolts for the stainless steel ones. I've been meaning to do that, and yeah, just slowly making progress, guys. Alright guys, well, investigating further. It's hard for you guys to see. Lighting right now. Sun is literally hitting right on it, but if you can see there, yeah, it was definitely chipped and just wreaked havoc after that. This whole piece on the bottom is supposed to be much more secure, and for whatever reason it kind of fell off on the other side. And yeah, this process was very smooth on the C55, not so much on this thing, unfortunately. Super annoyed, but what are you gonna do? Alright guys, well, taking a break from the CLK, taking the C55 out. There's a big opportunity for the channel and all the cars tomorrow that is taking place, so I'm making sure this thing is set up right. Gotta go take it out for a little bit of shakedown. We've done fuel system, not much else has changed, but you know, just want to shake it down, go fill it up, some fresh petrol, and get it ready for tomorrow. So let's go for it. Good morning, guys. We are making some progress, and I wanted to update you guys because kind of just left you in the dark. Quiet doggies. Show you guys what I did yesterday. So we got our catch can installed. I'm sorry I didn't really involve you guys in the process, but it's for the most part very much the same. It is the same as the other M113s, just a little bit different mounting style this time. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I just used a little piece of aluminum that I cut down, filed down, There was already an existing hole here in the chassis, so I used a lock nut and just an Allen bolt with a washer and got that mounted up. The key thing on this style catch cans is leaving yourself room to actually twist the Allens to secure this bracket to the back of it. So I got 2 Allen bolts down here locking it, put some blue Loctite on them just so they never come off. And then our lines, I believe I already showed you guys early in the video, but the lines go from obviously each PCV port and connect into one right here with the T-fitting. Sorry, shadows, hard to see. So there's a T-fitting right here, and then runs down. I looped it underneath what's called one of the AC lines into here. So there's an inlet, outlet. You can use either side, obviously, but that's how I have it set up. And then the other line, the return line, is going to the throttle body right there with the elbow. So I think besides waiting for the new injectors, I just have to clean out the surge tanks. I'm going to take them to work right now, blow them out with compressed air, make sure they're fully clean, and then really those will be ready to install as well. I did throw on temporarily the Nuke fuel pressure regulator just to see what it looked like compared to the other one I had on there. So that'll be cool to have on once it's time for that. I am going to order some new seals for the oil cap because those are kind of old, so do that. And yeah, for the most part we're kind of getting close to wrapping things up in the engine bay. So the next thing we'll be working on, and we'll see if I have time to get into this video, is the battery. And I think we will. I think we'll try to get it in this video, so stay tuned. I'll let you know if otherwise, but I would like to do that. We got 3 days till we leave for California, so that if I can, I could try to jack it up. I don't know if the jack will have enough oomph on the dirt, but if I can get the car up high enough to get the wheels off, I can do 2 at a time and do the Motorsport hardware kit, and also just check if these wheels do have hub-centric rings or not, and what spacers are on them as well, because they look pretty beefy, but I don't know. Actually, they're not that, maybe 10 or 15 mil. I think they're 10 mil, but it'd be good just to check what like brand spacers are on them and stuff, make sure they're good stuff. Otherwise I can always swap those out. I have a couple sets that I can use, so we'll see. Motorsport Hardware has helped out the channel so much. They've literally hooked it up for pretty much all the cars. Oh, I'm walking right into a spider. Oh, the spider is now connected. Oh, okay, not anymore. But Motorsport Hardware has really hooked it up for like pretty much all the cars on the channel at this point. Every single one of them is running a lug or stud conversion kit, and even some of them are running their spacers. So that will be a separate video, this car, and we'll cover the C36 as well, because it also has a kit on it that I haven't really updated you guys about. So we will continue it. I got to go to work here in a little bit. Let me show you guys, in case you guys missed that episode. I have to clean out these surge tanks because one of them is still full of crud. I think it's the other one because this one looks pretty clean. Yeah, that's the other one. So need to get that cleaned out and both of these blown out, and then we'll be good to go. So also I got these little radiator support bushings, so let's go see if these fit. Alright guys, perfect fit. So these basically just sit in here like so. The reason I got these because before all it had was these, which are supposed to, you know, fit down into here, and as of now they were doing nothing. So this will allow this to actually hold it down, hopefully. Alright you guys, got those little rad supports in place. Had to do a little modifying. the bolt thread or whatever they were supposed to be used. These are not for this radiator, I don't think, but nice and firm. This thing's not going anywhere. So before it was flopping around back and forth, so now they're nice and solid. So good to go on that front. Now it's time to go to school and or work. Time to go to work and get those surge tanks cleaned out. Good morning, you guys. We are back and it's finally time to do our battery remount in the trunk. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so if you remember, we left off with halfway completed pretty much. I mean, we can actually hook it up the way it is now, but we have one line that I made for negative cable that's plugged into the bumper, and then I put on these connectors for it. I have the positive cable made, so what we need to do now is actually split this cable that they have running from the front, put a terminal on it so it can connect to our breaker. We have a 200 amp breaker right here that we'll be connecting and mounting with some nut certs, and inside of here we got all the stuff we need. I'm going to be retaining the factory mounting bracket, just painted it up, made it look nice and rust protected, so that will be nut certed into this side of the little, whatever you call these, composite tray, and I'm going to try to make sure we get it into some of the spots on the steel as well. So little by little we'll get this taken care of, and it'll be one less thing. Depending on how fast I can knock this out, I think I would like to start trying to pull out the fuel pump assembly possibly in this video. We'll see. Alright, guys, we'll update for you. Making progress. We got 3 of the nut certs in. I had to do a little modifying to this hole right here. Just basically hammered this down to make it flat, so when the bolt comes through it's not, you know, at an angle like the rest of these. So it should be good where it's at now. I have to use a washer on this one obviously because the hole is gaping, but we got these 3 done, and then I'm going to do this one as well, and that one is actually going into the steel, so we'll have 3 into the composite, 1 into the steel. So I think it'll be plenty safe, it'll be plenty anchored down. The nut certs do pull into the composite pretty well. I mean, not as tight as they would into metal obviously, but still works, and still do a pretty good clamp on them. So I will get that last one down, but I'm waiting. My drill ran out of battery, so it's on the charger. Once that's done, I can drill through the plastic and the steel and finish that last nut cert, and then we're on with mounting the battery. Once I get it exactly where it is, I'll put the battery on, hook it up, or not hook it up, bolt the bracket down, and then we can see exactly where we want to cut this line and put our breaker. So check back in a bit. Also, it's turning into a steaming hot day very early on, so don't know if I'm going to be feeling like pulling fuel pump assembly in the hot weather right now, but maybe if it cools off later on in the evening. Alright, guys, tray is mounted. It is nice and firm, not going anywhere. So let's go ahead and set the battery in here. The only thing I have to like watch out for, what I did is this bolt head might be a little bit over the flat mounting surface of the battery, so I'll keep an eye on that. The entire bottom of the battery is flat, so I was hoping it was going to be like a little bit grooved, but it is not. So it should have a tiny bit of give, so it's not off by much. If that bolt is maybe like a hair or so. So let me set the battery in here and see what we get. Alright, guys, battery is in. It's bolted down. Does have a little bit of wiggle, just the battery itself. I don't think it's the mount, but you know, a little bit of play just in the little grooves that it fits in, but I think that's normal, so should be good. Now that that is done, we can obviously hook up our terminals here, see exactly where things are going to be routed to, and then I'll decide where I want to put the breaker. I would like to reuse one of those tapped locations right there, that's what the little plastic shield will sit on. So I'll see if I can do so. Otherwise, I thought about just mounting it. I mean, I could use like some of those screws right there. I could mount it up top here. I could just adhere it somewhere as well. I don't have to necessarily bolt it down, but we'll see. Alright, you guys, we are all mocked up. However, my positive cable is way too long, so I'm going to cut this off, unbolt this side. Luckily it's just a bolt-on kind, so easy enough to shorten down, so I'll leave a little bit of slack on it and probably cut it right around here. But yeah, we're all mounted up. Last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put my braided sheathing, nylon braided sheathing on all of our connections, and gonna mount this down with some P-clamps as well. Just need to get some. I don't know if I have any laying around. Otherwise we'll be all set. I can just reuse some of the factory holes over here to make some clamps for it, and we should be all good. I mean, I will be able to, I just have to cut it into a new shape, but I won't be able to run that plastic cover as is right now, but that's okay. The carpets on each side I'll be able to run if I want to. I have this carpet, I don't have this one, so for the time being, doesn't bother me at all. It's fine. It's the mechanical trunk look, so keep it as is though. Anyways, let me cut this up and we'll be done. Alright, you guys, well, we are officially complete. Got everything wired up. Only thing left to do is to switch that little breaker so it's not disconnected, but I'm not doing that yet because don't have the TCU hooked up. ECU's hooked up, just don't feel like putting power to the car right now, so I'm gonna leave this unhooked, leave it as is for now. But anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna call the video here. I feel like I've got quite a bit in this video. I can't even really keep track now of what's in here. I think the wiring, some of the stuff up in the engine bay, the catch can, and now the battery install. If I get a chance, maybe this evening when it cools off a bit, I'll try to disassemble the fuel pump, and I think that should be a dedicated video anyways, because it's going to be a bit of trial and error and figuring things out, and I don't really have a solid 100% game plan I want to go with yet, so we'll leave that in another episode. But for now, hope you guys enjoyed, hope this was helpful seeing some of this stuff, and hope you guys are getting more and more excited like I am as we're getting closer and closer to this thing being able to fire up. So till the next one, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.